Hi, and welcome back to the show. This is my third show. My name's Larry Hall, and you can just call me the old geezer because I'm going to rant at you a little bit today. Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about something that's pretty irrelevant to everybody in the world, but people try to make a big thing out of it. Cultural appropriation. What the hell does that mean? Okay, I'm going to have to look away from the screen because I'm going to read you the definition I found on the internet of cultural appropriation. The unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of customs, practices, ideas, etc. of one people or societies by members of another, and typically more dominant people or society. That's the definition. How vague can you get? Can someone tell me what the inappropriate part of learning from other cultures, using their ideas and making the world better is bad? Personally, I think cultural appropriation is something someone made up so that they could feel superior because they can say, oh, I'm supporting this culture here. You're not supporting it, you're helping to destroy it. And I'll explain. Cultures only spread if they're shared. Now, some people will say, well, you can't share a culture because a culture belongs to its people. No, a culture belongs to the world. Every culture in the world has contributed something to what we use today. Now, people say, oh, you can't dress up like a Native American, or you can't dress up like a Chinese, or you can't eat sushi because you're stealing it from the Japanese. That's crazy. That's like saying, oh, we shouldn't use the math that the Greeks invented or the Arabs invented, or we shouldn't use astronomy which the Arabs invented because we're appropriating their culture. Cultures who do not share die. Okay, let me discuss a few cultures that have gone the way of the dodo. Let's talk about the Aztecs and the Incas. And they say, oh, they contributed a lot. Well, their main thing was they were doing agriculture and they had a calendar. But it seems to me that the Chinese had a calendar when doing agriculture at earlier or at the same time that they were, so they didn't really give us anything that we can use. Their culture died out simply because of disease, mostly. Because when the Spaniards come and they weren't ready for diseases, and they weren't ready for the famines, and they weren't ready for the changes in the land, so they died out. And now I want to mention a couple of civilizations that don't exist anymore and we know almost nothing about. Let's talk about the Mayans. We've all heard of the Mayans. We all know where they were from. But the reason the Mayans died out is because their civilization wasn't discovered until after it died. If other civilizations had come in, even superior civilizations, I know that's a bad thing to say, then their culture would probably have been, as we shall say, appropriated or shared with the Europeans, and some things may have come out of it. But no, it didn't happen. They died out before people even knew they existed. Another civilization that's gone is the civilization on Easter Island. We find things there. We found those huge statues. Got no idea how they were built or anything. So without them being discovered, we didn't get to share the knowledge of how to do the things that they did. Now, we lost on that. I think we should have, if they had been discovered earlier, we should have taken that knowledge and shared it with the world, and everyone would know how those statues were built. I use those two examples because everybody's already heard of those examples. Everybody knows the Mayans and the Incans existed. There are civilizations on this world that we have names for that don't exist anymore, and you don't know about them because there was no really knowledge to be shared with you about those civilizations. Now, I'm going to bring this to another point. Things that I think we're going to lose in the next 100 or so years. There's a lot of cultures that we are going to lose in the next 100 or so years because we think that they shouldn't be touched and they should be left exactly as they are. But those civilizations will probably die out. Culture's gone. One of the cultures that I think, and I feel sad that we're going to lose in the next 100 years, and no one wants to believe this, but I believe the Native American will either the culture will die out or they'll become so mixed with other cultures that they just won't exist anymore, which is not necessarily a bad thing as long as we can remember the history. Now, I live in the southern United States, so I have access to the Cherokee Nation of the Native Americans, and they have cultural events all spring, summer, fall, and I go to as many of them as I can because I enjoy the culture. Now, I go to these things, and they're all dressed up in their finest historical garb, and that's fine. But the point is that I know people who would say, oh, if you dressed up like an Indian, you're appropriating their culture. No, you're not. You're showing their culture as they show it to you. Now, you may make fun of it, and that's not the right thing to do. But if you think a child dressed as an Indian is someone who's out to insult the whole culture, then you've got some heart thinking to do. Could go into more depth on these things, but I think I want to keep this one fairly short and understanding. I think people who think that the cultural appropriation is a bad thing, I have to agree with them in certain ways, but I disagree with them mostly. Like I said before, cultures that aren't shared die away. We need to spread the knowledge of every culture in the world that's worth having. And if we do that, then we'll develop a real relationship with these cultures instead of just trying to watch them like they're some kind of Saturday afternoon movie for entertainment. Now, we need to respect cultures, but we also need to take things from them. We take what we need and we give what we can, and that's how civilizations advance. Okay, I want to thank everybody for spending their time to watch this video. I know that if it's interesting to you, please leave me a comment. I've been waiting for comments to come in. If you insult me, I can take it. If you're telling me something that I already know, I can understand it. But please, if you want to give me information, please back it up with facts and tell me where I can find those facts, because I'm a fact kind of guy. Now, I want to thank you for watching. If you like this, subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe anyway. It doesn't cost you anything. And I will be here next time, but I'm not sure when it'll be because I'm retired and I just do these when I feel like them. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you later.